What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know we tas. We do a lot of tasing, but we also do a lot of getting it in, man. I guess tasing is getting it in. I get it in while I tas, you know? You already know what it is, man. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support. I'm very humbled by it. It's story time. You guys ready for a story? No super, but this motherfucking story is super duper. It's tremendous, right? And man, by the skin of my teeth, I got lucky. You always felt, look, have you ever felt, I always feel like somebody's jocking me, right? Have you ever felt like you get away with things or you get by the skin of your teeth? Like you should not be here right now. There's been plenty of situations that I was involved in where I'm like, I don't even know how I made it. Like things work out perfectly. A door's open right when I need it to be open. Someone pops their head out the door. Like certain things that it's like, it's a miraculous situation. Only God, right? Could have helped me because there's been situations where I had motherfuckers running at me just boom, and I got to a point one time where I was running, gun just jammed and shit, right? Allegedly. And as I'm running, I could feel it. I could feel it come, right? It was coming in the air tonight. And I'm trying to hit fences. I'm exhausted like motherfucker. My adrenaline's pumping, but even with my adrenaline pumping, your boy was exhausted, right? That I just started smashing through fences. Boom, fences were falling. Boom, boom, right? I got that superhuman strength, man. Hey, when you're faced with life and death, no wonder they call me runner. I ran like a motherfucker, right? I ain't even tripping. It just is what it is, man. I wasn't trying to catch what I was distributing. That's just the facts. Now, there's situations where nowadays it's called lacking, right? And a perfect example is the guy from Chicago that I don't know if you've seen on social media. There was a guy, he was doing a live stream, a Facebook Live. He was sitting in his car. He had on his diamond necklace, which from what I hear from some people wasn't even real. But I don't know, man. Cubic zirconia hits different. Moissanite hits even more different. And as he's sitting there talking about whatever he's talking about, frustrated with the system, frustrated with the parking situation, he's approached by someone off camera. You can't really see. He jumps out of the car trying to defend himself and he's shot and he's killed immediately right there, broad daylight, right? And there's a lot of investigating going on with this case, man. It was unfortunate because you see a lot of people get killed, and that's called lacking. He was caught lacking. He was caught sitting in a spot where you have to be on point. You know, he had some big old glasses on. People could see in the reflection the address or recognize the street that you're on. And if you're flossing, if you have money or jewelry and they want that, they can go ahead and jump in their shit, come over there and try to get that, right? And in this case, that's exactly what happened. That's called lacking. You know, being out there, putting up your address, showing everybody where you're at. People are following you literally, right? And they'll catch up to you and you won't be lacking anymore because you won't be breathing anymore. It's unfortunate, but it's been happening a lot. So you have to really be aware and really be aware of your surroundings and the people you hang around, because the most likely in most of these cases, the people that you're hanging around are going to be the people that do you dirty. I've always noticed most people that get done dirty are by people they know, family, or people that look just like you. Mm. Ask King Von, he'll tell you. Oh, you can't. He got done by someone that looks just like him. That's just how it is, right? Unfortunately. I'll tell you guys about lacking. Sometimes you just fall into a lacking situation. So I have a homegirl, right? I say have because hopefully she's still my homegirl unless she's mad at me. I haven't talked to her for years. This was one of those homegirls from the barrio, from the neighborhood, that was with homeboy after homeboy after homeboy. Like she always was in a relationship with a different homeboy. Okay, she had like 8 kids from one homie, 3 from another. Like her shit was wide open. Her shit was her shit was you dropped the bomb. It was gap band. She had that gap band, right? Her shit was instrumental. Her shit was an accordion, just her shit was wide open. But she was a good homegirl. There was one time, and no, it was 2 times, but there was 2 times when she got at me and she was like, "Hey," and I could tell she had like a little bit of a crush. And I went over there and on the late night tip, No other homies were there, and I slid in and literally just slid in and was like, and then slid right back out. I was like, I'm a jam. So, but she was a good ass homegirl. Like, hey, she let everyone go over there, party, kick it, eat food. She cooked for everyone. Just a solid ass homegirl. But she always had to have a man. So she was always with one homeboy or another. And it was like hard to figure it out. It was like the game of tic-tac-toe. Like, who are you with today? The X's or the O's? Right? You just she was playing Squid Games at her pad. You know what I'm saying? Red light, green light. The homeboys were fucking, everyone was trying to get there to that last stop. Then when they got there, they realized, fuck, I shouldn't even play this game, eh? You know what I'm saying? This game sucks. I'm just speaking from experience. Now, because she was such a good homegirl, after we had our little situation, that didn't mean that I was going to disrespect her. You know, all I said was, it's not for me. You know, it doesn't smell correct, right? It's just not for me. And I backed up off of it, but she was fucking with different homeboys from the neighborhood. And it was always just like that. Anyways, solid homegirl. All the homegirls that were around her were usually jealous because she had a nice ass whip, badass apartment. She got child support from like 9 different dudes, right? She just had it going on. And I'm not going to say we didn't utilize her because we did. You know, that's how women were treated in the hood in the 90s, the 2000s. It was all about utilization. Hey, if the homegirl will let you sleep on her couch, will let you get a little mamon and maybe eat some Captain Crunch cereal, who's saying the winners weren't us, right? We were able to keep cuetes and just do things at her pad that most chicks wouldn't let us. It's just the way the world was working out for her. And she was cool with that. She was cool with that. Her children, for having that many children, they were never around. They were always with the baby daddy. Like she was a good mother. You know, when I would see her in town with her kids, boom. So anyways, one night I got maniaco. And for those of you that don't know what that means, for those of you that are tapped in with the gun, is like, what does maniaco mean? Well, that means I got horny than a motherfucker, right? And I was sitting there late night, man, and she happened to text me. She's like, what are you doing, fool? What's up, fool? What's up, babe? Right? And I said, shit, nothing. And then I started reminiscing, like, man, I remember she used to be on my chorra bad, right? For those of you that don't know, refer to the Gunner Handbook, and you'll see chorra, and you'll see me going like that, right? So I'm like, now what's up with you? So we start talking and sending pictures and chopping it up. She was like, you should slide through, right? And I was like, right now? And she was like, nah, not right now, but like maybe tomorrow night or something. Now, it's 2 hours past. I'm like, man, I ain't got shit to do. I'm just gonna go surprise her and slide in. Well, this is where the lacking becomes involved. Now, at this particular time, she was with the homeboy, but they were like on and off again, and he was locked up. So the way I was brought up in the gang was like, you don't disrespect the homeboy, you don't sleep with the homeboy's old ladies. That's a violation of bond forward. There's just certain things you just can and cannot do. And you just don't fuck around with the homeboys or ladies. It's just not cool. You don't want it to happen to you. You don't do it. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say it didn't happen frequently all the time. There was motherfuckers waiting. As soon as the homeboy get locked up, they'd be the one. Yeah, what's up? Hey, you heard your old man got locked up and shit? No, I'm devastated. Hey, can I get him on one? And like, dudes are waiting. They be waiting at the doorstep. You know what I'm saying? If you need anything, groceries, you know what I'm saying? Airing your tire. So a back shot, like whatever, I got you, right? The homies were always there for moral support and for physical support, always. But because I knew she was fucking with the homeboy, I had to make sure, right? So I said, I'm gonna go over there and kick it because that was just the normal thing to do. I'm gonna ask her if she's like, oh no, we're still fucking around. Then I would have been like, oh, I'm cool, and just kick it and probably watch fucking reruns of Three's Company. You know what I'm saying? Watch Jack Trip or Trip. So as I'm kicking it like there, like fucking his homeboy Larry, and I'm ready to go fucking just sell out for the pussy. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna surprise her because she'd be by herself, not doing nothing, just texting the homies and you know what I'm saying? Hey, setting up appointments. Our appointment was tomorrow, but I couldn't wait till tomorrow because tomorrow might be never come, and also tomorrow I might have me a fat white girl. So I just don't know at that point. So I'm like, fuck it, and I go to her pad, right? And I remember walking up, there was a clean ass Impala that I had never seen in the apartments. I was like, damn, someone got a clean ass whip. It's not all the time that a person has a nice Impala and they park it in an apartment complex. Usually someone who has that nice of an Impala, it's in a garage. It's from someone from a car club. Like motherfuckers just ain't having a nice ass whip like that out there where someone can snag it. Because best believe the first thing that went through my mind was clean. The second thing that went through my mind was dent puller. I was trying to do my thing. So as I come to her house, I knock on her door. Boom, 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 boom. And I could hear some scurrying around. So someone's there, right? I was just texting her a couple hours ago. Her fucking Lincoln Navigator's parked right there. Like I know she's there. Boom, boom, boom. And I say her name. What's up, girl? I don't want to put her on blast right here. Those that know her know her. I'm like, hey, what's up? Nothing right then. Boom, boom, boom. Task force in the knock. Das, 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 das. Right? And she's like, what's up? I said, hey, what's up? What are you doing? She was like, oh, nothing. I'm just sleeping. It's only like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, stop it. You know what I'm saying? You're on a good one. Let me in here. And she was like, hey, I told you tomorrow. And I was like, well, you got the kids or what? She was like, no, but like, I'm trying to do my thing. And I said, well, what the thing are you? I'm trying to do my thing too. Let's do it. Let's do our thing together. You know what I'm saying? Let's do a thing. I got a thing for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? She was like, her thing was not my thing, I guess. So I'm like, no, fuck that. I said, well, let me use the bathroom real quick then. You know what I'm saying? I need to take a liquiazo. I need to take a piss. And she was like, hey, I got someone here with me. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I should have, right? Let me tell you something. She opens the door and she has a little chain on it. And she's like, and I could tell she's got like mascara running down her eyes. Like either this chick has been crying profusely within the last 2 hours because she was just sending me back shots. So I don't know what's going on. Either she was crying profusely or she was getting her whole uterus wrecked, right? I mean, she was going to that motherfucker looking like J-Lo, coming out looking like Chito Rana. She was getting blabbed, right? She was flabby. Her shit was getting flabbergasted. And I'm like, are you good? She's like, yeah, I'm good. And I could tell, I'm like, she's getting emotional. Is she getting beat up? Is someone in here fucking tearing her ass up? Because I got you. I got some stats right here in your sofa that I didn't tell you about that I could pull out, right? Well, she opens the door. She's like, hurry up, fool, right? And I can see her room's dark, but it's got like a red light. She had this red light. You know, the Oscar Norteña chicks with the red light. So as I go walking down the hallway to the bathroom, I could hear someone coughing. It's a dude. So I look at her, I'm like, and she got the blanket wrapped around her. And now I realize she's crying tears of joy. It's not tears of pain. She was having a joyous occasion, right? So I just look at her like, you dirty dog, you know what I mean? You dirty dog. Fresno, right? Okay. And as I walk by, I go to take a piss and I can hear her talking to someone. And she's and I can listen. I stop. You know, when you're pissing, I don't know about you. I got control though. My bladder isn't done yet, right? So I can stop and I can hear her saying, hey, get rid of him. Then I piss again. Then I stop. And she was like, don't touch me there. He's here. And then I piss again. And she's like, put it in deeper. I was like, oh shit. What's going? That was all me. So I come out. I'm like, hey, girl, I'm in a jam. What's up? And then I hear someone, hey, I gotta take a piss. And she's like, no. And then no nose didn't stop it. No. This motherfucker came out of the room, all 6 foot, whatever of them, right? Big old Southsider, big old soul blasted on him. Los Baños across his back, about that big, just Sureno'd out the game. Big dude, right? Now, prior to this time, we had heard about this big old Southsider running around Los Baños named Boxer. He was originally from LA, but he had went out to Los Baños, right? How do you say it? Los Baños, right? He was in Los Baños, and we had heard a lot about him. And I had never seen him. Well, I seen him. It was like Bigfoot. This motherfucker came out. He was like, what's up, Bessie? None. What's happening, bro? You enjoying yourself or shit? Right? So he goes in to take a piss, and you can hear this motherfucker pissing. Sounds like Rip Roaring Rapids. I'm like, oh, man, a dude that pisses like that will choke you out even worse. I'm out of here, right? So I tell her, what are you doing? The fuck you doing fucking with the Southsider? She's like, I'm a chick. The gang shit don't mean nothing to me. Girl, you have red rags all over your house. You got a red light. You got a well-got bird with fucking Woody rest in peace right there. You got all this different shit. You fucked Ricky, first of all. Super Norte. He was in that motherfucker. Whoop it. I said, and you're going to sit here and find this? This is when I realized and I understood the gang shit doesn't matter to the chick. These chicks are, it's a free-for-all. It's the Royal Rumble of North and South, right? So I could hear him washing his hands. I'm like, oh, man, I start backing up. And luckily, I sit on this couch. I'm like, nah, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't no punk. She was like, hey, fool, don't start no shit. And I reached down. And I had a little something that I had stashed there. I didn't stash it. The homeboy stashed it, but I knew where it was, too. I slid that motherfucker in my pocket. ASAP, right? So now I'm putting 2 to 2 together. That Impala was his. He's in here just clapping the whole cheek off the homegirl. You know what I'm saying? He's turning her in from, he's Soul Gang. He's turning her shit from Northern California to Southern California immediately. I swear to God, the next few times I went over there, she had a blue light. Like, it was all bad. So I'm sitting there. So he comes out. He's like, what's up, babe? Where you from? I said, Merced Dead End. What's up? He said, Los Baños. I said, oh, that's right. And he's like, Soul Gang. But he didn't say it like Tommy Guns. He didn't go, Soul Gang. You could tell by the writing on the wall. No, he was like, Soul Gang, yes. I was like, understandable, right? And so I'm lacking. I'm caught up in a situation now. This dude is like, to me, looking 9 feet tall. He's a big monster. And shout out to my boy Lolly from Turlock, man. He knows exactly the dude I'm talking about, right? And I'm like, fuck. I'm sitting there like, damn. And he was like, so what's up, bro? This is kind of a conundrum, huh? He sits down and he's big and he's in boxers. And his shoulders all fucking out and shit, right? And I'm looking at my homegirl. She got the fucking blanket wrapped around her, and I could see the tracks of her tears, right? And like I said, her hair's devastated. Her insides are probably disintegrated. And he's like, hey, yeah, this is my old lady's pad. Hey, you vatos are not going to be coming. Enough of that. I say, this is the homegirl right here, bro. And he was like, yeah, well, trip out on this, bro. This is the way it's going to go down. From now on, this is my lady. And I don't want to hear that because I'm a gang member at this time, active and all that. And I said, well, you know what, man? Hey, this is Norte, homie. This is one of our spots. He's like, yeah, it ain't your spot no more. And he stands up. And I stand up and he keeps standing up for a while. And I'm just stand up real quick. And I'm like, and oh no. And, no, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I get my Kevin Hart on. I'm like, oh no, I wasn't ready. Stop. Right. And the homegirl's like, hey, both of you guys need to stop. This is my pad. This is my kid's pad. You guys need to stop with all that gang bullshit. And he's like, hey, bro, we can go outside and have this conversation. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck, it is dark out there. So if I shoot him, I might be able to run. No one will know, but she'll know I have to come back in and do something to her. Damn, man, this is a fucked up situation to be in, right? But I ain't no punk. So I'm like, let's go. And I ain't going to lie to you guys. I was scared to death. There was a big old outsider. So scared, sued real big on him. I was like, oh, and on his head. Like he was gang banged out. I went outside. He's like, he likes a frau. He was like, you want a frau or what? And I was like, yeah. Now, up until this point, like I said, in my history of my life, I've been cool with Southerners, like in YA. We used to chop it up, all that. But we're on the streets, homie. These are the streets, homie. And I already know we don't get along. I caught me a Southsider like, and actually I lacked myself into the situation. And he's like, look, bro, me and the homegirl, we've been fucking around for a while. It's my lady. We're trying to do the right thing. He's like, bro, I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Sureno and shit, but I ain't trying to fuck up. And I said, I heard of you, man. And he goes, look, man, I ain't even tripping off you vatos like that. Like, I really ain't, homie. He goes, I'm originally from LA. And to be honest with you, and I just keep looking at the massive tricep he has. I'm just like, oh, if he hits me with that, that's game over. Little flip, game over, right? And as he's talking, I'm hearing him, but I'm visualizing me getting choked fucking with a big old Sureno paw, right? And I'm like, I'm just agreeing with everything. But I got a thing on me. So I'm a little brave. And it's aimed direct. It's I got my hand in my pocket, and the other hand on my shoulder for protection, just in case he tries to kick me. And I got my thing at him. And he's like, look, hey, so if your homeboys want to come around, her baby daddies, that's cool. I could jam during that time, but we're going to stay fucking with her. And I tell him straight up, I'm like, why, bro? Why you want to fuck with her? You know she kicks it with all Northerners and shit. You're not scared of the setup? Like, we're actually chopping it up. He's like, nah, bro, I'm not scared of nobody. And I'm like, well, I am. I'm scared of you. But you know what's going on here? And this fool sees that he's got me a little bit intimidated. So he starts deboing up. He's like, yeah, but like I said, bro, that's just the way it's going to be. But you can get up out of here now, bro. And I said, what? He said, yeah, you can get up out of here. And I swung. Woo. And that motherfucker jumped back, Holmes. And he reached back like a pimp and slapped me, bro. Right? Whoa. And that shit grazed my ear. And I pulled that thing out. I said, mi vida loca, right? That motherfucker, I ain't never seen a big dude run that fast. That motherfucker was running in his boxers. We're outside in apartment complexes. There's probably chicks looking through the thing like, dang, he got big old bicep and a chorra, right? That fool took off running. His shit was flapping. That motherfucker was gone. I was on him, and I can't say exactly what happened during that other than he just took off, right? And my homegirl's like, stop. You're a fucking asshole. You ruined everything. I said, shut up. It's Norte on ours, right? So I end up leaving. I go back. I tell the homeboys, hey, fool, I ran into this big old dude. They're like, hey, that fool boxer from Los Baños. I said, yeah, that's a monster, fool. I'm like, yeah, he tried to fucking get me, bro. And I fucking almost gave him the business. And they're like, shh, you're fake, bro. You should have gave him the business right from the gate. I said, no, but you don't understand. The way it was working was I had to work it right? They're like, whatever, right? But they're not tripping. They're just like, yeah. It's your story. I'll let you tell it. This is true stories. It's about, I'd say a year later. I'm at this store called Food for Less, right? And the homeboys are waiting in the car. And me and the little homie, we go in to get beer and whatever. We're partying at a homegirl's house. And I see this motherfucker, right? And I tell my little homie, hey, that's that fool. I ain't got nothing on me. I'm like, oh, man. I ain't going to lie. You guys want to hear the truth? I don't lie to you guys. I keep it real. When he was on aisle 9, I was on aisle 10. When he was on aisle 10, I was on Sewell Gang, aisle 13. Whatever aisle he was on, I was on the whole different aisle, right? We ended up buying our beer, and there he is getting some meat and whatever he's doing with this badass chick, too. I'm glad he moved on from the homegirl because the homeboy got out and he got 2 pounding and they had 2 more kids. But anyways, I see him and he sees me and he's like, hey, esse. I turn around and tell the little homie, just keep walking, bro. You know, I don't want you to get beat up too. But you got to be a man and understand just because he's big doesn't mean he's crazy, right? And I turn around, he's like, hey, what's up? And I was like, he goes, you remember me? I said, yeah, hell yeah, I remember you. He said, yeah, what's up now? I said, same shit. What's up? And I tell the little homie, tell the homeboys come out. Tell the homeboys come out, right? And they're getting we parked way in the cut so they can fucking smoke a bowl, right? They're all fucking spun out. And he comes up and he was like, nah, I don't mean it like that, bro. Trip out. It's all good. And he's like, I don't fuck around like that no more. Like, I'm still a Southsider shit, Sureno, but I'm not tripping, Holmes. And I was like, okay. The moral to the story is the homegirl was willing to let me get my ass whooped and everything. All for some pipa. You have to watch out, man. I got taught 2 lessons. 1, there's bigger, badder wolves in this world. And you got to watch out and don't get caught lacking. 2, the homegirls will bone anything. And that's the moral of that story. Anyways, are you guys ready today? I know a lot of you have been asking for bedtime stories. I told you I had to create them to tell them. I got one for you guys tonight. I'll just say this. It involves 2 sisters. Ooh, doggy. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. Thank you, man. The gun.